Hello, everyone. Students, in today's episode, we are going to understand a issue, a story about a microscopic organism that has been making news. And this organism is Naegleria fowleri, also known as brain eating amoeba. Now, recently, this amoeba has become a cause for concern in Kerala. But don't worry, I'll explain everything you need to know about this tiny but deadly organism and how to stay safe. Right? Let's just begin by understanding what kind of organism this Naegleria fowleri is. This is a type of amoeba. Okay, amoeba is a microorganism and it is a single celled. It has only one cell. Okay, and basically it composed of a single cell, right? And this is commonly found in warm freshwater bodies like lakes, rivers, and hot springs. So we can say that amoeba, this brain-eating amoeba, it thrives in warm environment, especially when the water temperature rises above 25 degrees Celsius. Now, students, what's scary about Naegleria fowleri is that in rare cases, it can cause a very serious infection in the brain. And this infection is called PAM, right? Primary amoebic meningoencephalitis, which can be fatal. It can be deadly, right? Here you can see the name of this infection. Now, why is it called a brain eating amoeba? This nickname comes from the fact that Naegleria fowleri amoeba can enter the human body through the nose when someone swims or dives in a warm contaminated water. And once inside, the amoeba makes its way up the nasal passages to the brain where it begins to destroy brain tissue, right? And this leads to symptoms, severe symptoms like headaches, fever, nausea, and even hallucination, right? Here are some of the symptoms that are mentioned. Like in the later stages, the patient can become confused, disoriented, suffer from seizure, loss of balance, and they may slip into a coma. Now, the big question, should you be worried? While the infection is extremely dangerous, it is also incredibly rare, right? And cases of Naegleria fowler infections are quite uncommon, but when they do happen, they are serious. And recently, cases were reported in Kerala, and Kerala is fighting it. Yes, here we can see the first case of PAM in India was reported in the year 1971, and the country has just seen around 2 dozen cases since then until last year. The first case in Kerala was reported in 2016. So Kerala is forging ahead in fight against this rare diseases. Okay, and once a person gets infected, it can be fatal, right? But yes, so from the whole thing we can realize, we can come to the conclusion that the warm climate of the region, especially during the monsoon and post monsoon periods, uh, some fresh water sources are, they are more prone to harboring this kind of organism. But here's the good news, the risk of infection can greatly reduced if you follow simple safety measures, right? What kind of measures? Like avoid swimming in warm freshwater bodies. If you do decide to swim in lakes, rivers, or ponds, especially when the weather is hot, it's best to wear nose plugs, or you should avoid putting your head underwater so that you can prevent the amoeba from entering your nasal passages, because these amoeba, these organisms, they enter from nasal passages. ओके, फ्रॉम द नोज से ही एंटर करता है। तो अगर आप डिसाइड भी करते हो, अगर कोई डिसाइड भी करता है आपके नोन में कि वार्म वेदर में स्विमिंग करने के लिए, तो मेक श्योर, यू हैव टू मेक श्योर दैट दे आर वेयरिंग नोज प्लग्स और दे आर नॉट पुटिंग देयर हेड अंडर वाटर, राइट। तो सिंपल सिंपल स्टेप्स हैं। और इफ यू आर यूजिंग वाटर फॉर नेजल क्लीनिंग लाइक इन नेडी पॉट, कुछ लोग क्या करते हैं कि वाटर यूज करते हैं नोज क्लीनिंग के लिए, नेजल क्लीनिंग के लिए। सो ऑलवेज वी हैव टू मेक श्योर दैट द वाटर इज स्टेरिलाइज्ड बाय बॉइलिंग इट एंड देन लेटिंग इट कूल और यूजिंग फिल्टर्ड वाटर। तो ये सब कुछ कुछ स्टेप्स है, जो बेसिक स्टेप्स है, कॉमन स्टेप्स है, दैट वी कैन यूज, राइट। एंड if there are any warnings about water contamination in your area, be sure to follow them, especially after cases of Naegleria fowleria reported, है ना। तो स्पेशली जो स्टूडेंट्स केरला में रह रहे हैं, उनको कुछ अगर आपके एरिया में ऐसे इंफॉर्मेशन स्प्रेड हुई है, तो मेक श्योर दैट यू आर फॉलोइंग द गाइडलाइंस, राइट। Students, it is also important to note that Naegleria fowleri infections can't be spread from person to person. You won't catch it from someone who has it, and अगर किसी पर्सन को ऑलरेडी है, तो ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि आपको भी उससे हो जाएगा, राइट। तो बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि ये कंटेजियस नहीं है। And in Kerala, local health authorities are on high alert, and they have been spreading awareness about this amoeba and the safety precautions people should take, right? While students, we should also be cautious. There's no need to panic. Remember, this infection are incredibly rare, but it's always smart to stay safe by taking preventive steps. Right? Now let's go to the next article of the day. We have, are Indians protein deficient? Yes, this is the article. See, this there are certain news, certain articles about when people say that uh, Indians are known to be protein deficient. But today we are going to talk about it, right? You might have heard, but is that really true, right? First thing, first things first, what exactly is protein? स्टूडेंट्स, प्रोटीन, प्रोटीन क्या है? आपने इसके बारे में पढ़ा होगा, स्कूल में भी कई बार पढ़ा होगा कि प्रोटीन इज अ न्यूट्रिएंट एंड इट इज एसेंशियल फॉर द बॉडी, राइट। प्रोटीन एक तरीके का न्यूट्रिएंट है विच इज एसेंशियल फॉर आवर बॉडी, and it's like the building blocks for our muscles, skin, hair, and even our immune system. So every time you move your muscles, digest food, or even your injury is healing, protein is working hard. It helps your body grow, it helps in repairing your cells, create enzymes that assist in all sorts of vital functions. Basically, हमें प्रोटीन की बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है, क्योंकि जब हम छोटे होते हैं या फिर अगर हम अगर हम जब बड़े भी हो जाते हैं, हम एथलीट्स हों, एडल्ट्स हों, हम डेली रूटीन में कोई भी काम कर रहे हैं, वी ऑल नीड प्रोटीन। Now, how do we get protein? Most of you might think of meat, eggs, and fish as primary protein sources. And you are right, but there's more to it. For vegetarians, foods like pulses, beans, lentils, dairy products, nuts, and seeds are excellent sources of protein too. So, while people sometimes believe that vegetarians or some Indians who follow a largely plant based diet don't get enough protein, that's actually not the case, right? Now, the question is that we are going to, the myth that we are busting today is, are Indians really protein deficient? The short answer is no. As per this analysis, Uh, as you can see, a national sample survey analysis of household food intake found the risk of protein deficiency in India was low in adults and it is almost non-existent at younger ages. छोटे बच्चों पे अगर वो बैलेंस डाइट खा रहे हैं तो प्रोटीन डेफिशिएंसी नहीं होती है, right? And in reality many Indian diets, if well planned, provide adequate protein. In fact, pulses and legumes like dal, chickpeas and lentils, which are staple in Indian cuisine, are rich in protein and provide other essential nutrients too. जैसे यहाँ पर एक एग्जाम्पल दिया है, इन 1 year old चिल्ड्रन प्रोटीन रिक्वायरमेंट इज अबाउट 1 gram per kg per day, while energy requirement is 80 kilocalories per kg per day, right? So इसके हिसाब से अगर एक जो 1 year old है उसकी उसकी जो बैलेंस डाइट है उसमें सारी चीज़ें कंबाइंड है, प्रोटीन के साथ साथ विटामिन, फाइबर, एनर्जी, एनर्जी इज ऑल्सो रिक्वायर्ड। कई बार ऐसा देखा जाता है कि जो एनर्जी है उसकी जगह some people tend to believe that we need protein for growing up, but at the same time we also need energy. Okay, so in younger children energy is more required. तो अगर एक proper balanced diet है जिसमें carbohydrates है, fiber है, vitamins है, essential nutrients, minerals है, protein है, then that it is more than sufficient. Okay, बहुत ज़्यादा सफिशिएंट है एक किसी चाइल्ड के लिए प्रोटीन का इंटेक। ओके, so high quality mixed meal is it's written high quality mixed meal is adequate to meet the increased energy and protein needs after exercising. कई बार जो एक्सरसाइज करते हैं उनको ये लगता है कि सिर्फ वी ओनली नीड प्रोटीन, बट यस दैट इज ट्रू, दैट इज कंप्लीटली ट्रू, बट एट द सेम टाइम वी आल्सो नीड एनर्जी, एनर्जी भी चाहिए होता है। सो कंबाइंड balanced diet of carbs and protein as well as vitamins is sufficient for everyone, right? And studies have also shown that protein deficiency in India isn't as widespread as some might think, right? And while it's true that there are cases where people may not be getting enough, it's usually because of poor dietary choices, not because the Indian diet lacks protein. And the real issue might be more about protein quality rather than quantity. This means that people should focus on consuming complete proteins. That is, complete protein, just foods that contain all the essential amino acids our body needs. ओके, अमीनो एसिड्स क्या होते हैं? दे आर लाइक टाइनी बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक्स दैट मेक अप प्रोटीन। प्रोटीन किससे बना होता है? छोटे छोटे अमीनो एसिड से। तो ये अमीनो एसिड्स हमें फूड से मिलता है। तो इस आर्टिकल में ये भी कहा गया है कि रादर देन फोकसिंग ऑन जस्ट गेटिंग प्रोटीन, वी शुड ऑल्सो फोकस ऑन गेटिंग क्वालिटी प्रोटीन। ओके, क्वालिटी प्रोटीन। और इफ यू कैन, एंड यू नो क्वालिटी प्रोटीन हमें खाना चाहिए, तभी हमारी बॉडी हेल्दी बनेगी। And students, it also important to understand that as long as you are eating a balanced diet with a mix of grains, vegetables, and legumes, your body is getting enough protein. Now, here's where things get interesting. While some media reports push the idea that Indians don't get enough protein, others suggest that protein overconsumption can actually be a problem. And too much protein, especially from unhealthy sources, mind you, students, I'm talking about from unhealthy sources, can lead to other health issues like kidney problems. So it's all about getting the right amount of protein from good sources rather than focusing only on quantity. Okay, so you should eat a variety of foods, mix your meals with both animal and plant protein, nuts, seeds and dairy like yogurt or paneer are great snack options. And you don't need to load up on protein shakes or supplements. I'm talking about the kids, okay, because I've seen some teenagers are they are loading up on protein shakes or supplements, and natural foods is the right in the right portion are often enough for growing up, right? And yes, so while there's a myth that that Indians are all protein deficient, but Today we have understood that this is not true, right? And most Indian people, they are easily meeting their daily protein requirement. All right, students, so thanks for tuning in today. I hope you have thoroughly understood these two news articles, right? Bye bye, have a happy learning.